If you're feeling lonely, kick back and come with me to revisit Rock Lee vs. Gaara, one of the greatest fights in anime history. Why does this fight have us in a chokehold? Get comfy, because we got a lot to talk about. Let's get into it.
Begin.
Leap Hurricane!
Yo, you. Yes, you. We gotta talk about this classic moment. Rock Lee versus Gaara. An iconic moment that I always seem to go back to. And if you're anything like me, you do too. Whenever I see this fight, I gotta watch. But why? Why do we love this fight so much? Was it the setup? The storytelling? The David versus Goliath interaction between Lee and Gaara? The soundtrack? Or maybe a mix of it all? Me personally, it just brings me back to a good old time when I was a kid. Let me take you down memory lane. Imagine being 8 years old. You coming home Friday night, you've been waiting all day, Adult Swim. Why I was watching Adult Swim at that age, I don't know, but that's not the point. I'm in my grandma's house, 2-story house. She had the black carpet in a big room with a nice fat TV. And every week, me and my 2 older brothers would wait to watch Naruto. So in that fight specifically, it was about 3 to 4 episodes. So we didn't need to finish the fight one episode, we had to wait a whole nother week. So I'm sitting there getting to see all these fights. I done saw Sasuke get busy. I done saw Shikamaru outsmart somebody. I done saw the main character Naruto overcome Kiba, get on him a little bit. And then Neji fighting his cousin, Hinata, trying to kill her. But the fight that intrigued me the most was Rock Lee and Gaara. The way they set it up was so fire. You got this boy wonder, Rock Lee. He done already beat up Sasuke earlier in the show, hit him with a forbidden jutsu and got in trouble. And then you had Gaara, who by the way had one of the most craziest aura farming moments ever in anime history. His introduction, he came in upside down on some straight maniac stuff. But then, during the first part of the Chunin exams when they in the forest, he killing people. So this fight had a big mystery. Who was gonna win? The strong character A or the strong character B? But then, they start fighting, and we get to see the true extent of Gaara's power. So mind you, I'm 8 years old. I'm getting to see this dude Rock Lee get busy. He throwing hands, he can't hit him. Gaara standing there straight like come on bro, you can't touch me. But there was magic in just seeing that as a little kid for the first time. So all that inspiration, motivation that the show gave me stuck with me forever. It hooked me. The delivery of this iconic moment is something that I could talk about for a long time. So the main question again is, why do we love this fight so much? For me, I think it was the suspense of not knowing what was going to happen. The backstory of the underdog Rock Lee overcoming this immovable object of life. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I rewatched this fight recently and I was tearing up. It was getting me. So I wanted to just sit down and slow down and just discover, why am I getting so emotional? Is it the nostalgia? Was it the overcoming of Rock Lee and his deficiencies and everything he had to go through? Was it the people cheering Lee on that didn't even know him that well, and the bond that my guy had with him? I don't know. But if I dig a little deeper, I think it's that I can see myself in Lee. I was once a lonely kid. I was once a kid who believed that achieving great things was far-fetched. But then he gives us that hope. He gives us that ability to push past our adversities, our limits, our everything that's against us, and turn it into a strength. We were learning about Rock Lee as the fight went on. The fight starts. Everybody like, bro, just use some ninjutsu or genjutsu. And then guys like, he can't. So you know what I did? I just made him the greatest taijutsu user in the world. So he'll figure it out. And then he's fighting. He can't touch Gaara. And then boom. All you see is Lee about to get hit by Gaara, by some sand, and poof, commercial break. Commercial comes back. He flipping up on the statue, and you know what happened next. That boy and my guy said, Lee, take him off. Boy, take off his weights, hit that drop, so cold. Pew! And then that boy turned into the Flash, turned into Sonic the Hedgehog, and he started getting busy, so busy to the point where he finally makes Gaara bleed and hurt for the first time ever in his life. That part right there is just a great representation of what we can do. We can turn everything against us, the sad story that we have, the trauma that we have, the things that we're born with, and turn it into our greatest strength to help us win our greatest battles. Another main reason why I was getting emotional recently was just seeing this kid have a dream, and then having that one person who decided not to bully him, that one person who saw himself in Lee, believe in everything he wanted to achieve. He gave him a forbidden jutsu, the 8 hidden gates, because that kid wanted to achieve his ninja way of becoming a splendid ninja. It's a beautiful moment. And as someone who didn't grow up with a father, it was nice seeing someone take that father figure role on somebody. We all want that. We all need that. That one someone to just believe in that dream that we have. Because we're social creatures. We can't do it by ourselves. So when I'm watching this fight and I'm tearing up, it's because Lee gives me hope. Guy gives me hope that there's good people out there and that it's okay to believe in something that might seem far-fetched. It's okay to believe in something to where you're on ground zero and you got to go through hell and back to make any progress. When you go through Lee's backstory, he's crying because he's putting the work in, and then he hits that point, the dip where everything seems to not work. The point where it's time to quit and majority of people do. But God says, you know what, Lee? You better not quit because you have a gift of perseverance. He calls him a genius right then and there, and I'm sure that moment changed Lee's life forever. He was able to take that belief that someone else had in him and continue to move forward, continue to knock on the door, and eventually he broke through and became one of the strongest young ninjas of Naruto that won so many hearts, including mine and probably yours too. We love this fight because there's so many gems in it. And I think another one is you have Gaara, this guy who had nobody believe in him in his corner, and then Lee, someone who did have other people in his corner. It started off with Guy, and then he won the hearts of Naruto and Sakura, who were able to cheer for him during the Chunin exams. And that's a big part of our lives. It shows how little minute things can change trajectories for each person. Lee could have easily ended up like Gaara, and Gaara could have easily ended up like Lee, Naruto, if somebody had just shown him a little bit more love earlier. The storytelling in the clash was beautiful. It was these two opposites coming together. We see ourselves in these characters. As Lee, he had people who didn't believe in him, but he had one person who put his hand out. For Gaara, his own uncle tried to kill him. I mean, obviously we didn't know that during the fight, but looking back, hindsight, of course he's acting demonic. Of course he's trying to kill everybody. And then when the fight ends and Gaara comes to save Lee from death when Gaara's about to kill him, Gaara's confused. He's like, bro, I don't know what love and community means. Why are you sticking up for somebody who just lost, who I just beat? And I just think that right there is beautiful. We can see ourselves in both of these guys. We can see ourselves as David, the one who needs to overcome the giant. And then we could also see ourselves as David the other way. Someone who needs to overcome complete loneliness. Both of those two sides have their Goliaths. Both of those two sides have a battle that needs to be won, and it's going to take everything in their power to get it done. This fight teaches us how to overcome adversity. It teaches us how to push past our limits on Lee's side, and it teaches us how to respond when we get hit for the first time in Gaara. There is adversity in all of our lives, and these two kids show us how we can overcome it in our own. It's a beautiful thing of storytelling, and the reason why, again, we keep coming back to this moment. Since we love this fight, I believe this reveals something key in us. It reveals that we struggle with things like self-doubt, with not believing that our dreams are possible all the time. We need to overcome that. Having hope through a show and it pulling so many of our strings shows us that we're not alone. Because if I love this moment, that means somebody else loves this moment. And if we both love this moment, that means we probably can relate to each other in some way. This is the importance of finding that tribe. Finding and having that hope that there's someone, just one person who can relate to you. And I think revisiting this classic moment will show that. I'm not the only person who loves this fight. I'm not the only person who could see myself in Lee and understand where Gaara is coming from. You probably do too. So that means you and I would get along very well in some way because we can relate to each other. We can use this piece of art to understand the emotions and the things that we need to overcome to then find the people that we need to make our dreams a reality. You have a Nindo. And if you don't know what it is, you can find one. We can use this fight to find our purpose, to help someone else. All these emotions and strings that it's pulling inside of us are hints of the direction that we should go. Maybe we are my guy. Maybe we have to find our Rock Lee. We have to find that kid who we see ourselves in, that we can help overcome their self-doubt. My guy is somebody who overcame his, and he used his healing journey to help somebody else. Or maybe you see a kid going down the path of Gaara. You can help that kid finally feel some love so he doesn't have to go through all the trauma and the long journey of having to turn from bad to good in the way that he had to. You can give him community. We can serve others. And I think that's why these moments are so beautiful. As a kid, I didn't know this fight was going to motivate me so much as an adult. But looking back at it now, I learned more lessons than ever. That's good writing. This fight stands the test of time after so many years. Seeing someone try and try and try, and then guess what? He loses. But he lost the fight, but didn't lose the hearts of everyone that he won over. Because Rock Lee's story shows us something important. It's not the result, it's the effort. It's the taking the chance on yourself. So that business you want to open, that the idea that you have that you've been sitting on and you've been scared of, that's what you need to head towards. That's the beauty of this moment, is that it helps us in the real world. It helps us find our true purpose and be able to help someone else after we overcome it ourselves, leading you one step closer to finding your true tribe and your life's mission. So let me know what you think. I love this moment, but tell me why you guys did too. Again, the reason why you love this moment could be a big reason of what you're supposed to be doing in your life. So Wonder Tribe, thank you for tuning in. Give me a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you soon.